Hi everyone, Into the Light with Laura Louise. Did you know that what you don't know matters? Here's what I mean by that. So I bought the house I grew up in after my mom passed away back in like 2010. And the thing about buying this house was that it gave me joy, right? I'm sure some of you out there know that when you acquire things from your family heirlooms, grandma's china, mom's pearls, the family Bible, the house you grew up in, whatever it is, that you have a connection to that person through those things because you remember, certain situations. For example, in the house, that I lived in, every day I could wake up and I would remember my mom, the first thing she would do when she would wake up is she'd get her coffee and she would sit and she would drink it. But the other thing that was really fun were, the things like the time we broke the window and mom just lost it and yelled at us, or the time that my mom and I were picking weeds in the front garden, right, in the front of the house. And I had a bug phobia. And I must have had a muscle spasm or something because it felt like there was a bug this big on my neck, right? So I feel this tightness and this thing on my neck and I start screaming, get it off, get it off, get it off. And she's like, what, I'm on the giant bug. She's like, there's no bug. And I start, going like this. She starts cracking up. Like, there were so many times that my mom and I, because of my ridiculousness usually, would end up dying laughing over something because, I don't know, it just seemed like things always happened to me. And we would just laugh so hard that we couldn't talk. And it was just so much of that. Like, there are so many times in my house I can remember things where we were doing something and then all of a sudden my mom and I would start laughing because I ended up doing something ridiculous. So I had no intention of ever selling this house, okay? Hear me. No intention ever. This house was to die with me. Well, actually, I probably would have passed it on to my son, but you catch my drift, right? So here's the thing. So I fell on kind of hard times and lost my job, and basically in a nutshell, I ended up not being able to afford this house anymore, which devastated me, okay? So I'm also in church one day and I hear as plain as day, and there's nobody around. I know this sounds weird, but I hear, you're going to sell your house, right? And that was kind of the revelation that I knew that I was not going to be keeping this house. So I went through a 2-month just depression. I was crying like I was losing my mother all over again. It was just a really, really hard time in my life. And I know people think it was a house. It's just an asset. But as I just shared with you, it was more than a house. It was memories, it was dreams, it was all of that, right? But here's the thing. So what I didn't realize, and it wasn't really shown to me till after the fact, is in this house that I had lived in for about 6 years, I was sleeping in the very same bedroom that I was molested in when I was 9 years old. And I never thought about it. However, as you know, that didn't matter because it was still in there. The subconscious was still aware that this thing happened to me in this room that I slept in every single night for about 6 years. So on the other side of selling the house and downsizing and purging all of my things, because obviously I got rid of pretty much 90% of what I owned, gave away couches, gave away dishes, you name it. It was a true cleansing season in my life, and I did not like it. Crying. Why is this happening to me? So about 2 to 3 months after I'm on the other side of it, and I'm really thinking it was revelation that basically I realized I was sleeping in this room, which was obviously not healthy. Also, there was a lot of stress and anxiety around losing the house. I worried about, my sisters and my son, and, because I had this house and it was my mom's house and we all grew up there, and it was a lot of stress. And it was probably the second worst thing after losing my mother was losing this house that happened to me in my life. But luckily, unlike losing my mother and falling into a deep depression for 7 years, when I lost the house, it really was only a couple of months of tears and turmoil and all of that, but I came out much healthier. So here's what I want to really drive home. No matter what you're going through, no matter how the fire burns you, no matter how hot things seem, how uncomfortable, why is this happening? Whatever it is, just know there is betterment on the other side. The fact that I had this house and I had it for a time, and it was great when I had it, but there was a time where I had to be out of it because I was sleeping in a room that a tragedy happened to me, and that was affecting me, even though I didn't know it. I didn't know, but it still affected me. There are things that are going to happen in your life that you don't understand, but just know, press in and wait, and you'll learn on the other side why you had to go through something, especially if you're pressing in and you're one of the people like me. I always want to know, how can I be better? What do I need to do? Educate me. I am a godly woman, so I constantly am like, God, let's go to boot camp. Teach me, coach me, mentor me. How do you want me to grow and rise and develop my wisdom and my knowledge? Well, be careful what you wish for, because you can't be a godly person and have testimony and not go through trials. So I've got a lot of trials to share, but here's what I also have. I have a lot of triumph that I'm going to share as well. So my name is Laura Louise with Into the Light with Laura Louise, and I just want you to know, no matter what, just because you don't know doesn't mean there's not something happening behind the scenes. Have faith, and you'll come out smelling like a rose. Have a great day.